Today on Forbes, former energy secretary's startup mints 3 billionaires despite no revenues. Plenty of billionaires have been created by the artificial intelligence and data center booms, and now the real estate underneath the data centers is generating 10-figure fortunes too. At least 3 new billionaires joined the 3 Comma Club on Wednesday after Fermi America, an Amarillo, Texas-based real estate investment trust, co-founded by former Energy Secretary and former Texas Governor Rick Perry, went public on the NASDAQ. The stock opened at $21 and closed 55% higher at $32.53 per share, valuing the 9-month-old firm at $19 billion, despite the fact that it has yet to generate any sales. The biggest winner is Toby Nagelbauer, who is 54 years old, the firm's president and CEO, and one of 3 co-founders alongside Perry and his son, Griffin Perry. The son of former Texas Congressman Randy Nagelbauer, he and his family own an estimated 28% stake worth $6 billion as of market close on Wednesday, based on an analysis of a prospectus filed on October 1st. A large chunk of that stake is held in trusts for his wife and 2 children. Griffin Perry, who is 42 years old, is the next largest shareholder, with an estimated 11% stake, worth $2.3 billion. Unlike his father, who serves as a director at the firm, the younger Perry doesn't have a formal role at Fermi. Stephen Meisel, who is 40 years old, an investor in the company through his firm Pencross Energy, is worth $1.8 billion. Rick Perry himself, while not quite a billionaire, owns a stake worth some $540 million. In 2019, Forbes estimated then Energy Secretary Perry's net worth at just $3 million. A spokesperson for Fermi declined to comment. Fermi, founded in January, hasn't made a dime. In fact, it's lost $6.4 million over its first 6 months of existence. That's not surprising given that it doesn't have any customers yet. In its prospectus, it stated it was, quote, actively targeting potential clients, but didn't name any of them, instead citing Musk's xAI, OpenAI, and Anthropic as, quote, potential hyperscaler tenants. The firm claims it signed a letter of intent in September for its first gigawatt of power with an unnamed, quote, investment-grade tenant, and pointed to recent data center leasing transactions in the market to estimate that it could generate $1.5 billion in revenues from a lease for 1 gigawatt of capacity. Still, it called these, quote, illustrative returns, rather than projections of its future revenue. The upstart will have to battle it out with more established data center operators, including giants like CoreWeave, which counts among its customers blue-chip firms such as Microsoft, Meta, and OpenAI. CoreWeave's stock has more than tripled since the firm went public in March, minting 5 billionaires and valuing the company at $60 billion. But investors apparently like Fermi's business plan, which is centered on a 5,236-acre Amarillo, Texas site called Project Matador, on which the company aims to eventually deliver as much as 11 gigawatts of energy from natural gas, nuclear, and solar plants. Fermi claims it can bring 1.1 gigawatts of that online by the end of 2026, in conjunction with the local utility. All that power will theoretically flow to as-of-yet undetermined data centers on the same site. Fermi holds a 99-year lease to the land, which is owned by Texas Tech University. While Fermi aims to power much of the center with nuclear energy, as well as some solar, it will initially rely on natural gas, similar to other enormous data centers like Elon Musk's xAI Colossus in Memphis, Tennessee. In September, Fermi signed a letter of intent with Siemens Energy to purchase 3 gas turbines to generate 1.1 gigawatts for the site. The deal also calls for Fermi and Siemens to collaborate on nuclear steam turbines and integrate them into the 4 Westinghouse nuclear reactors it plans to build on the site. Rick Perry, who is 75 years old and who served as U.S. Energy Secretary between 2017 and 2019 during President Donald Trump's first term, is a strong proponent of nuclear energy. For full coverage, check out Kyle Kahn-Mullins and Giacomo Tagnini's piece on forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.